We are definitely in week 17 of the NFL, and the Oakland Raiders are in such a peculiar position. Now, they are Denver to play the Broncos, and the Raiders are still in the hunt, obviously, for a particular win right here. But for the playoff berth as the 16th seed in the AFC. It's Dennis the Business Sports. Do click subscribe, share this video right now. Now, there's definitely a good amount of things that have to fall in line for that to happen, but they can start by getting a win at Empower Field at a mile, obviously, today. Now, the Raiders have already been beaten or have beaten the Broncos once this season, but that came all the way back in week 1 where we got our first look at the star rookie running back, that is Josh Jacobs. What does this mean? It has been quite the up and down year. Like many teams, the Raiders haven't been short of injuries to some big pieces. Nonetheless, they still have plenty to play for this week and have a lot to be thankful for as this season potentially comes to a close. Now, with a number of storylines heading into the final divisional matchup of the year, here are obviously the three bold predictions that I have for you for the game that is taking place right now against the Broncos in the Denvers. Now, I'll get to your conversations later on, but one thing for sure is for the next of this game in the next minute right here, the run game takes over. The Raiders run game has been a big part of their success, obviously, this year of 2019. Rookie sensation Josh Jacobs has been amazing on his way to potentially snagging an offensive rookie of the year award, all while nursing a fractured shoulder he obtained in week 6 against the Packers. Now, just last week we saw DeAndre Washington step up in a big way in the absence of Jacobs. Then Washington rushed for 85 yards and 1 touchdown on 23 carries in the Raiders' 24-17 win over the Chargers. Talking about Jalen Richard, who added 11 yards on the ground, as well as what we can call but it was clear which back Gruden preferred in the each facet of the offense, as Richard had almost as many receptions as he did carries. Now, talking about this game, of course, we consider the Broncos possess the league's 18th best run defensive, giving up about 112 yards in a game and an average of about 4.2 yards a carry. They've given up 90 plus rushing yards in their last 3 games, the biggest one coming against the Texans in week 14, where they gave up 134 total rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, just that, like that. Now, the Raiders, on the other hand, have the 13th best rushing offense, averaging about 119 yards a game and just as many per carry as the Broncos give up. Now, the biggest wild card will be whether Josh Jacobs is able to suit up this week or not. Ladies and gentlemen, watch out for these guys. But with how John Gruden likes to control the clock, and as we clearly saw from last week, he has no problem pounding the rock with other backs he has at his disposal here. Now, expect them to establish the run early with great success as they try to continue the smash mouth style of football they've drawn success from all year round. You're right. Now, as we get to the next predictions here, we can see that Max Crosby breaks our Raiders' rookie season sack record. What does this mean? One of the biggest highlights of this Raiders season, besides Josh Jacobs, has been rookie DE Max Crosby, as they can call him. Drafted in the 4th round of Eastern Michigan, Crosby has been a lightning rod for a defense that was mocked for their inability to get to the quarterback just a year ago. His game against the Bengals, where he recorded 4 sacks, set the Raiders a single game record by a rookie and made him only the 4th rookie in NFL history to record 4 sacks in just 1 game. Now, talking about this game still, Denver has somewhat struggled protecting the quarterback throughout the season. It's never an easy task when you have someone as immobile as Joe Flacco back there, but the Broncos offensive line ranks in the top 15 for sacks given up this season. On top of that, they have a pass blocking win rate of just 54%, which is good for the 27th game in the league. Now, that basically means that just under 50% of the time, one of their linemen is getting beat within 2.5 seconds here of the ball being snapped. Since rookie quarterback Drew Lock has been back there, though they've been they have had a better success getting the ball out quicker and letting him use his feet when he needs to. Now, Crosby has far outdone his expectation that this year, posting about 8.5 sacks in the season. He's only 2.5 away from setting the single season sack record by a Raiders rookie, which is about 10.5 set by Greg Townsend and Anthony Smith, who are both tied. What does this mean? Still, we can see that we can expect him to create ways to beat them around the edge and not only secure the record but help secure a win for the silver and black. Now, we talked about Greg Townsend and Anthony Smith, who are both tied. We can surely expect Denver to double the team and do whatever it takes to keep the rising rookie at bay. What are we talking about there? The prediction that I have here is the silencer. The silences are called weather concerns. Now, stop me if you have heard this one before. Obviously, Derek Carr can't play in the cold. You all know that Derek Carr cannot play in the cold. At face value, I get the argument that his statistics through an all 0.05 career record in away games in sub 40-degree weather hasn't been the best. He's averaging 166% YPG. That's about 54% completion percentage, and has a 4.6 TD / INT ratio that we're talking about here. Now, nevertheless, Oakland Raiders and the Denvers, just like most people know, football is a team game, and your performance on the field can be as much about your fellow teammates as well, or the team across from you, as it can be solely on you alone, especially when the team across from you, in those instances, play that is what we can say a playoff right here, contending at the Super Bowl caliber teams. Now, that being said, the team across from him this week, he is very familiar with. In his last 5 games against the Broncos, he's 3-2, averaging about 223 passing YPG, and that's a 5.0 TD / INT ratio. Now, the last time the Raiders won a game in Denver was on December 13, 2015, where they won about 15-12, where Derek Carr led them to a victory that day in, that is wait for it, dash at sub 40-degree weather. I hope you know what that means. Now, we saw Derek Carr have one of his best seasons for the first year in a Gruden system last year, straight up, and better TD INT ratio. Now, he produced as a much needed big game last week against the Chargers, throwing about 291 yards and having 1 passing and 1 rushing down. Now, expect him to keep the success going in Denver as the Raiders try and do their part to squeak into the 6th seed and get a playoff spot. Now, the prediction here is 240 passing yards and 2 total touchdown. Now, getting down to the conversation here, someone says it will be gruesome game for Jonah Gruden. Drew Lock will have about 5 touchdown passes. Derek Carr will be sacked 4+. I beg your pardon. Derek Carr will be sacked 4+ times and intercepted 3+ times, just here as you may see. Now, Redcon says you have the back downs, their fireball. Drew Lock made Mad Max. Then Papa Strawberry says, because whatever that means, we do not know. Now, Cold Candy says, granted, Carr hasn't played all that well this season, but he and the defense, along with Jacobs and Washington, they will run. Ladies and gentlemen, just giving you a snippet of the prediction of the game taking place right now at the Denvers, that is Oakland Raiders and the Denver's Broncos. You too can give me your prediction right here in the commentary section, and you let me know what you feel about this game. That is a question being asked here. Should you bet on the Raiders and Derek Carr for this week 17? And obviously, I'll go like this. You should know that the Raiders aren't technically eliminated from the playoffs yet, but they will need to win on the road in Denver if they want any prayer at making the postseason. Should you risk betting on Oakland on the road, or if you're already betting on betted on Oakland on the road, or put your faith in a Drew Lock instead? The experts preview the matchup and make their pick. Now, Raiders Broncos injury report. First of all, which team is healthier, as we can see right now as the game is taking place? The Broncos offensive line is the big question mark in this game, with Ronnie Lera, who was a concussion, then Jean Warner James, he has a knee injury, then we have Elijah Wilkinson, ankle injury, all missing practice to begin the week for Denver. Now, outside of that, everyone at least got in limited sessions. While we have Josh Jacobs' shoulder still isn't practicing at all, but the head coach John Gruden is acting like Jacobs was supposed to play today. Now, unless he was to return to practice in the same fashion, I have had a hard time believing that, obviously. Now, Jacobs also had surgery on Wednesday night for a superficial skin infection on his leg. Now, offensive lineman that is Richie Incognito has the ankle injury and is still being bunged up after missing week 16. Now, he grades about what we can say, what the sports guys say, that out as one of the best pass blockers in the league, so his potential absence will be a huge loss for the Raiders. Now, the biggest mismatch here is Philip Lindsay slash Royce Freeman versus the Oakland's defense. Now, the Raiders travel to Mike High Standard with a run defense that ranks 24th overall by Football Outsiders. They have to face, they're facing the Denver running back duo that is a threat in both of the running and the passing games. Now, Philly Lindsay gashed the Lions for about 109 rushing yards and 5.7 yards per carrying average last week in Denver's 27-17 win. Now, his production is peaking at the end of the season with about 2 overall top 17 or better PPRRB finishes in Broncos past 3 games. Now, the Lindsay ranks in the top 20 among all the running backs in rushing yards, as we can see that they are about 958 and the yards per carry they're about 4.7. Right there. Now, the Raiders have not only struggled to contain running backs on the ground, as we can see, but have also been a sieve or opposing backs through the air. Now, Oakland has all allowed the 8th most receiving yards to opposing backs and the 3rd most receiving touchdowns, as you can follow the game right away right there. Now, still talking about this game, Freeman has emerged as the receiving back of the choice of Denver and has caught all of these last 16 targets. He ranks in the top 20 at the position in targets, about 49, and receptions, as we can see right there. Now, both Lindsay and Freeman could struggle in their first meeting, obviously, over Oakland, as we can see, with a 24-16 road loss. However, that was back in week 1, and the Denver rushing attack has greatly improved on the pitch right now, while the Raiders' rush defense has regressed. Now, the Denver defense has held its opponents to 20 points or less in each of their past 3 home games, lending support to a close game between these two AFC titles. Now, the expert pick right here would be Broncos on a 3, and someone says here, I'm by no means a stand for quarterback Drew Lock, but he's possibly the best passer the Broncos have heard this very year, 2019. Now, more importantly, Denver is a tough place to play in this very month of December, and hope opponents 10-5 ATS, about give it a 32.5% ROI against the Raiders under HC John Gruden since the year 2018. Now, best on this laissez-faire coaching style, someone says, I don't think Gruden's road record with the Raiders is random. He's the type of guy who would have a team that underperforms when traveling. Now, join the conversation right below in the commentary section. My name is DennisThaBizness. This is DennisThaBizness Sports. I was giving you the predictions for the Raiders and the Denver Broncos game happening right now. Do click subscribe and share this video. Click like. Let me your comments right in the commentary section. Well, like it inspired, there's some music in the background. You can get down the link description below and get yourself some lo-fi hip-hop beats just for free. Thanks for watching.